The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual guests.
What is going on, my Ghost Squad? Welcome to the Armed Citizen Podcast Live. This is episode number 313. We are streaming live on YouTube to over 150 countries worldwide. If you're out there in the chat, live chat, go ahead and say something. We don't know that you're out there unless you do. If you want to call or text into the show, yes, you can call and text into the show. Utilize the Ghost Tactical Hotline, presented by our good friends Rod and Shelly Gates over at Aegis Gun Care. That number is 530-364-4678. It's scrolling down below. If you're a veteran, really anybody, but especially if you're a veteran and you're in that hole, you're in the darkness, and you're looking for that light, call me, text me, email me 24/7. I cannot give you medical advice, but I could probably be a pretty decent ear, maybe talk you through some stuff. More importantly, I can be here just to listen if I need to. If you are looking to get to someone that can get you towards some medical attention, remember two things. Number one, you are not alone in this fight. You have a lot of brothers out here that are willing and able to help in any way possible. And number two, the world is a much better place with you in it. So please utilize the Veteran Crisis Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. Once again, 1-800-273-8255, the Veteran Crisis Hotline. We are spotlighting, as always, the United States Marine Corps. If you have any questions on what it takes to earn the title United States Marine, see their website, marines.com. And as always, we are a proud member of the Self-Defense Radio Network. Go check out all your favorite pro-gun, pro-2A podcasts over at selfdefenseradio.net. Let's say hello to everybody out there real quick. Let's do a quick roll call, if you will. We don't do this very often, but let's go ahead and take a quick roll call. We got Buck out there, the Tactical FUD. Artec and Daughters is out there. Gunpowder Beauty, hello, hello. Guns and Barbecue, FW Sykes, get her done. Defense Dad's out there, says, I see gun people. Yes, you do. Jacob S is out there. Snob is out there. Fix is out there. Georgia Trucker 69 and others that aren't saying anything in the chat. So like I said, if you're out there and you're not saying anything, go ahead and be part of the conversation. If you're watching this in replay or listening to this in podcast form, the conversation does not have to stop here. Go ahead and utilize that comment section. Ask any questions, make any comments, tell us how crappy we are, any of that good stuff. More importantly, if you're listening to this in podcast form, go ahead and try to give us a rating. It does help in the analytics and the algorithms, if you will, on the podcast side. Tonight, we're going to talk about bug out bags. And to be honest with you, this came up. We did a live Jarhead podcast Sunday night and just talked for about an hour and a half. It was fun, just kind of hang out and talk military stuff. For those that missed it, you can go back and watch it if you'd like. But the question came up about bug out bags or go bags or whatever you want to call them. And I thought that'd be a really good conversation because we've talked about them in the past. It's probably been a couple years. So we definitely were going to talk about bug out bags and all of that. You guys know that first of all, before we do, we got a bunch of the guys are out. They're gone out of town or they got their plans. We want to send a quick shout out to John from GOA. You guys know him as Ginger. Today's his birthday, so he is probably, I'm assuming, with his family. He better be with his family, having a good birthday dinner. So happy birthday to Ginger out there. If you guys are out there and you follow him on social media, go ahead and wish him a happy birthday for me. Chase is out at an industry event, a big event up north that he's working with EAA. Let's see here. Kyle and Chris both had personal things in life to take care of, so we might be here by ourselves. I thought maybe Clovertack would, but he's too big for this show. He's too famous, so he may or may not show up. I don't know, but we're gonna have fun with this. Let's see here. Brandon says, "Hey man, sorry I'm late dealing with angry kids, man. We're just getting started." Snob says that he heard that John was buying his first legal beer. That could be. And Snob, and this is a good. We'll talk about the vocabulary used for bug out bags, go bags. Snob calls mine is a get home bag, and that's a very legitimate way to call it as well, because some people like me, if something does happen, I'm not going anywhere. I live in a place that is perfect. I don't have many neighbors. There's only one road that passes my house, and I can see I'm on top of a hill, so I can see them coming, and they're not going to. So I'm trying to get home. Actually, I'm going to bunker down in the house, and all of the stuff that I need will be here. So my bag is going to serve two purposes. We'll get into that here in a little bit. I'm going to star a couple of these comments out there. Let's see here. Excuse me, didn't mean to cough in your guys' ears, but yeah. You guys know that every Thursday, Saturday, and Monday we have our pony polls over on the YouTube community tab. We have a good time with them. We ask silly questions. We always ask a good question, then we have some fun, either whether it's food or music or movies or weird stuff, but we have a good time with them. So let's go check out the pony polls. Is Mr. Clover in Turkey? God, I hope not, because they'll never let him back in the country. The problem with Clover going to Turkey is he likes to think that he's famous over there, so he thinks that he would go over there and get mobbed. The problem is he might get kidnapped, but because they think that he's a kid, a little baby wee little kid, he's so small. But no, I don't know. Gunpowder Beauty says, bug out back, chloroform, yes or no, asking for a friend, obviously, and all that. Let's go check out the pony polls presented by our good friends over at Anderson Manufacturing. Go check out andersonmanufacturing.com. Got a video dropping this weekend that will be featuring the Anderson. It might not be about Anderson product, but it'll be featuring and spotlighting the Anderson products. We'll go into that a little bit later. But the first poll question put out yesterday, 1.1 thousand votes. Which movie do you prefer more? And I want to hear all of your answers out there in the chat. Let's hear what you guys have to say. 1.1 thousand votes. It or Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm not one of those people that clowns freak me out. Now, my daughter is. My daughter absolutely gets freaked out with clowns, so I'm pretty sure that she will not choose it. Pennywise was creepy, though. Let's just be honest. Stephen King, genius, yes. Absolutely weird, yes. So far, which It, Sykes, let's go with the original. I basically went the original It, not the newest one that came out a few years ago. When we're talking It, we're going to go with the original It and the original Texas Chainsaw. I think there might have been a remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're going with originals of both. Originals, 70s of both. It's been mentioned out there. The Gunpowder Beauty said the kids like It. Really? That's interesting. She's more of a Texas Chainsaw kind of gal. But yeah, I would figure the kids liking It. That seems kind of odd. But let's see here. 1.1 thousand votes, 59% say Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 41% for It. 59%. The next one, this is one of our closest polls ever, especially with this amount of votes. 2.2 thousand votes. Pick one. Pick one and only one. Darth Vader or Yoda? Which side of the force you guys rolling with? Which side of the force are you rolling with? Me personally, I'm a Vader guy. Now, of the light side, the Jedi side, if you will, my favorite of the Jedi is Yoda. But I'm still hardcore Vader fan. Love Vader. I think Vader very well could be one of the greatest characters ever written, any movie, ever, any franchise, whatever. I think Vader might be the one is probably top 5 for sure. Best villains, quote unquote, that there is out there. Let's see here. What's up, Gary's out there? 2.2 thousand votes. Like I said, this is probably, I don't know if it is, if it's not it is the top 2 or 3 closest poll ever, especially with over 2,000 votes, 2.2 thousand votes. 52% say Yoda. 52% say Yoda. That's okay. I don't mind if you're going to choose that side of the force. Yoda's the one to go with. I'm a little disappointed that only 48% did pick Vader. I'm just saying. Maybe that's a personal bias, but I'm a huge fan of Vader. But 52% of the 2.2 thousand people say Yoda. Okay. Let's see here. And our last poll for the week, 2.8 thousand votes. Let's get those answers out there in the chat as well. 2.8 thousand votes. Which one? Pretty simple. Bolt action rifle or lever action rifle? Bolt action or lever action? Gunpowder Beauties has got a bunch of baby Yoda. I got to go with Yoda. Well, not everyone could be right, but that's okay. Good trying. We do have some good parting gifts for you. We got a board game for you back there and a year's supply of National Lampoon's magazine. So have a good one. No, just kidding. Bolt action rifle or lever action? Bolt action or lever? If you can only choose one, bolt or lever. Some people want to call it lever, but let's be honest, they're just weird. They probably wore helmets on the short bus to school. Just saying. Gary says never shot a lever, never shot a lever action, so I got to go say bolt. Buck out there, Tactical Fudge says bolt. Sykes says that's tough. My first rifle ever was a 30-30 Marlin. My first ever was a 30-30 Winchester. Winchester 30-30. Got it the day after I got back on leave from boot camp. I got 10 days off, got home. That next morning, go to Walmart and buy my first rifle, and it was a Winchester 30-30. I probably got it for like I don't know. I think it was less. It was right around 150. Might have been a little bit less, might be a little bit more, but I think it was like around $150 at Walmart back in the 90s, early 90s. So it's funny how that works out. Let's see here. Gunpowder says bolt action, baby. Tactical Fud says lever action costs too much. Well, the ones that you look at sometimes, he thought he found himself a beauty, and it was a beautiful rifle at Wanamaker a few years back. And I love this story. It's one of my favorite stories about Buck. He and I were walking around Wanamaker, and he was looking for I want to say it was a 357 lever action, what he was looking for. And he says, "Oh, I found this beautiful $350." I was like, "Holy shit, that is beautiful." Look at the price tag, and it was $35,000. The 2 zeros on the end he thought were cents. No, that was part of the price. $35,000. Needless to say, he did not get that. Brandon says, depends on the situation. Honestly, I get that. I got a lot of that in the comments. And here's the thing, guys. The situation is if you had to choose one and only one, you could only have a bolt action or a lever action for the rest of your life. Which one are you going to choose? It doesn't matter the situation. Which one do you prefer? Which one do you like shooting more? Snob says lever if I'm only stuck with one more universal. If I'm only stuck with one more universal. I'm not very smart, but maybe I just didn't read that right. Gary says, well, to be fair, my Daisy BB rifle was a lever action. Now that I can think about. There you go. Sykes says his Marlin 30-30 was 125. Snob said I just had to put a cow down a little bit ago and use my old model 94 Winchester 3030. There you go. Sykes says that gun's $800 now. So he got it for about $150. The old Marlin 3030 worth $800. And that's a pretty good investment. There you go. Rob's out there, New York Outcast. What's up? RTAC says Bolt. People are saying hello and goodbye to each other. With one more universal. I hear you. I hear you. He left out a comment. It sounds crazy, and I know I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but a comma sometimes makes all the difference. Now, I know being an Okie over there, they usually don't teach grammar, much less punctuation in Oklahoma. So we'll let you slide this one time, but from now on, please, Snob, make sure that you get your punctuation because that changes the whole dynamic of that statement. Brandon says, I have one for you to choose, Remington or Winchester for hunting rifles. Well, I don't hunt. So I guess what I would probably have to say is I would probably go with like a Remington 700. Only because the 700 is kind of like a universal platform that like my Bergara can interchange with the 700's parts and all of that stuff. I think that the 700 is probably a very good, solid universal hunting rifle. That's just me. I'm going to go with a Remington 700, Remington over Winchester for hunting. Like I said, I don't hunt. So, Snob says punctuation is overrated. RTAC says the 1903 A4 for life. There you go. Fix says $35K. Yeah, $35,000 for that lever action that Buck was looking at. Thought it was $350. Nope. Let's see here. New York Outcast says he bribed the teachers with ribeyes. You know, I can be bought for ribeyes. I'm not going to lie. I've got a couple of New York strips marinating in the fridge. We're going to be having some steaks, and I made some sprouts. They'll be ready to go tomorrow with some corn and all that stuff. Tomorrow night's going to be a good dinner. Gary, how about that? Gary, channel member for 12 months, 1 year in. So yeah, thanks to Gary and everyone that supports the channel either through Patreon or through YouTube channel membership. If you're interested in becoming a patron or a YouTube member, you go to Patreon. You know, my link for Patreon is going to be in the description. The channel membership, just hit below and it'll say like subscribe or join. I think it says join actually. But yeah, if you want to become that, great. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for always supporting the channel on all of our projects. We do appreciate that very much. Brandon says, I knew I liked your channel. All right, I'm content for now. There you go, bud. Man, I tell you what, everyone's flexing out here. Buck says, member 22 months. And Snob, member 12, he says, hashtag me too. Really? Yeah. Gives a Gary says, oh, look at Buck flex. Yeah, he's flexing 22 months. Channel member for 22 months. Thank you very much for Buck and everybody out there. And Rob out there says, I'm currently making real fries and grilling burgers. Hey, there ain't nothing much better than grilling burgers and fries for sure. Let's see here. Is that a text message? It is, but I don't want to open that because I don't know who that's from or what that is. So I'm going to decline that text message and all of that. So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about bug out bags, go bags, as some people call them, get home bags for sure. And I start a few comments real quick before we get going. And Sykes says, same for me. Mine's a get home bag. I live in the middle of nowhere, 20 miles to the nearest town from me. So my concern is getting home. Yeah. And that's a real thing. A lot of people that might live in a urban area, suburbia, if you will, they're probably going to try to get a to-go bag to get out of the city and get maybe closer to the outskirts and maybe out into where maybe the county or somewhere where it's not as many people, out in the country, if you will, the sticks, as we like to call it down here in the South, and all of that. For us that already live in the sticks, we're very content. If something goes down, I'm camping my ass right here at my house. I've got everything that I need right here. Weapons, ammo, supplies, food, water, all that stuff. We've got it here. So there is no reason for me to leave this house. I actually want to come and stay here. Like I said, where our house is, we kind of live on top of a mountain, so we can kind of see what's going on. There's one road that goes past. It's all good. It's a perfect situation. In case something does go down, this is where I'm going to be. And if you try to come in, then well, good luck with that. Good luck with that. So let's get back over here and see if I missed any comments. Let's see here. I'm so far out, we pump sunlight in. That's pretty funny, Sykes says. That's pretty funny. Yeah. As long as you aren't cooking up chicken fried steaks. What's wrong with chicken fried steaks, Gary? I figured, being Gizzard Gary and supporting the chicken movement, that you would be happy to have anyone cooking anything that wasn't chicken based. So I don't know. Gunpowder Beauty, this is a great question. We can go down the rabbit hole with this. Does anyone do seasonal get home? So like I said, out there, if you have any questions about bug out bags, whatever, go bags, whatever, get home bags, whatever you want to call them, all that, maybe if you want to tell us kind of what you put in your bag, we'll go over what we put in ours. Any questions about bug out bags and all that, go ahead and put them out there. I'll make sure that I'll star them and we'll bring them all up and we'll have a good discussion. But Gunpowder Beauty, she says, does anyone do seasonal get home bags? Winter is approaching, could have car trouble situations. And I think that's a very, very valid question. Rob says, I wouldn't like his. I bet you I would. So I think that's a great idea to have seasonal go bags. Now, I think a bug out bag or go bag or whatever, for me, is different than like a survivalist bag, right? A bug out bag are the bare essentials. And here's the thing that I say, I need to get 24 hours out of that. Okay. I need to be able to get 24 hours of whatever's in that bag until I can get somewhere, and all of that. Now, a survival bag is something that I'm probably looking to get 72 hours, 3 days out of, 96, 4 days, 3 or 4 days out of that survival bag. But a bug out bag or whatever, I'm looking to get 24 hours out of that. And maybe that's just me. That's how I roll with mine. You guys can have your own way of doing it. But a survival bag, I think, definitely needs to be seasonal. You can have a spring/summer and then a fall/winter bag. Obviously, having different contents with blankets or sleeping bags or heat sources and all that. Although I will say, even in the summer times, depends on where you are. If you're in Colorado or you got in the desert, and the desert can have 40, 50 degree swings in one day, even during the summertime, you still are going to probably need some heat. There's three things, right? There's three things in the survivalist world that you need. You need a heat source, you need shelter, and you need food/water. More water than food, let's be honest. You need to be able to have water, or a water source. You don't have to have it on your person, a water source. So when you're talking about surviving, those are the three things that you're going to want. You're going to need heat, you're going to need shelter, and you're going to need water and food, obviously. Sykes says, I use a 3-day salt pack for mine. Absolutely. You can find 3-day salt packs are great. They're good size. They're not going to be they're not going to Alice pack or anything. They're not going to overbury you with size and weight and all that. But it's going to have enough room in there to get all the essentials. So let's talk more bug out bag, more than before we go into like a survival bag. The basic stuff that I kind of made a list here of the stuff that I keep in mind without pulling them all. I got some stuff, I pulled some stuff out, some smaller stuff to show you guys, but obviously water. Now, whether you keep this bottles of water in your bag, or you keep like gallons or something in your vehicle, or maybe a Camelback, if you will. Water. We talked about water. Water is essential. Obviously, some kind of a non-perishable. Once again, for me, now this is for me. My bug out bag is a 24-hour bag. Okay, so my goal is where I'm bugging out or I'm trying to get home or whatever. I would say that wherever I'm going to try to get is I should be able to get there within 24 hours, and I'll have other stuff available to me at that point. So my bug out bag is a 24-hour bag, right? So some kind of food, but I'm not talking about like canned foods and all that. Yeah, you can have some canned foods, but more like maybe like some gummy bears or protein bars or granola bars, something that you can just snack on that's going to be able to keep you going without feeling like you have to have a full meal. Like I said, gummy bears are great ones, but more important, like some granola bars, protein bars, kind of that kind of stuff. Have some availability of some food for you, an MRE or something like that, whatever. A first aid kit. So this is one of the things that, and these are just basic stuff, man. You can get them. I tell you what, over on our Amazon store, okay, I do have a list of survival stuff, and you can go check that out. Might give you some ideas of some stuff. So go check out that link. It's our Amazon store. Thank you for if you use our link to shop. We do get a little kickback from Amazon and make a little commission off that. So if you're going to shop, go shop our store. You don't have to buy stuff from our store. You can shop like you normally do on Amazon. Just go through our link, and it's also in the description for our Amazon store. Hey, baby. And yeah, helps the channel out for sure. But a basic first aid kit doesn't have to be anything special. This is an adventure medical kit. I think I probably got it at Walmart. 1 to 2 people. It's got a slim rescue howler, whistle, compass, antiseptic, wound wipe, bandages, dressing, gauze, tape, moleskin, a splinter picker, a tick remover, medications. It's got triple antibiotic ointment, an afterbite for sting and allergy, itch stuff, ibuprofen, antihistamine, acetaminophen. I don't even know what the hell that is, and aspirin. Your basic over the counter medications. First aid kit is a big one. Always want to be able to have a first aid kit. And I would say a first aid kit and a trauma kit are separate. My next one would be a tourniquet. You never know what's going to happen. Having a tourniquet is very, very good to have if you need to stop a bleed that gauze won't stop. A tourniquet is always a good thing to have as well. Let's see here. After first aid kit, I wrote down, a flashlight. So a lot of different kinds of flashlights. Get these at Walmart or something like that. These are only a few dollars, but they're LED. You can get pretty good LED lights for less than $5 at Walmart that last a long time. I've got a ton of these, and they're all over the place, bags throughout the house, whatever. Cheap little flashlights, but they're LED flashlights that'll last pretty good amount of time. Now, if you really want to go into, guys, keep on putting the comments out there. I am starring these comments, and I'll get back to them after here in a second, and all of that. I am seeing them, and we're going to talk about them here in a second. But so now, Gary, I'm not going to. Gary says pick an O-light. That way you don't have to pack a fire starter. There you go. O-lights can explode and start a fire. So I'm not sure that's a really good thing or not. But anyways, this is a really cool one that I've had for a few years now, a couple years at least. It's from Streamline. It's called the Wedge. Clip on your pocket, inside your bag, whatever. It's not something you probably want to use every day because it's not the smallest thing. I have a micro USB that I carry every day, but this is a good because it's got 2 different settings. So you've got that setting, and you got the really bright setting. LED, USB rechargeable, and some of them are. I think this one's a USB chargeable. So yeah, this is a Wedge, a Streamlight Wedge. There's a lot of great light companies. I'm a big Streamlight guy. So now New York Outcast says sometimes stores aren't closed or open. This is true in a if you want to call it a Red Dawn situation, chances are the stores aren't going to be open. So that's what we're talking about. You shouldn't be waiting for the Red Dawn scenario to happen before you go get your shopping for these supplies. You should already have them. Hopefully you'll never need them, but you shouldn't be waiting until crap hits the fan and all of that. So flashlights, obviously, if they need batteries, absolutely. Power packs, whether they're USB rechargeable, keep a bunch of power packs. You can recharge your phone, flashlights, all that kind of stuff. Some of them actually can start your car if you need to. But flashlight, extra batteries, battery packs, and all that. Next thing would probably go with like a multi-tool, since it's right here. And there's a ton of different brands, but just a basic multi-tool that's going to have pliers. You'll have, you know, um, screwdrivers, little bitty saws, all sorts of stuff. But a basic multi-tool is great to have as well. Let's see here, a whistle especially for the ladies. But a whistle, people don't think about whistles. I can't whistle. I can't do it. So having a whistle on hand, and there's one in the first aid kit. But that way, if you hear someone that's looking for you, you can blow the whistle. You kind of give them a direction of where they're going and all of that stuff. It might scare some animals away that might be bothering you. A whistle is a great tool to have as well. Let's see here. Obviously, you want to have your ID, insurance, if bank information. By that time, if it's a red dawn, chances are the bank's, your ATM card's not going to work. That's why you carry cash, and you have a little stash of cash ready to go, just in case for that moment. Cash, ammo could be used for bartering, cigarettes, all that stuff. At that point, the monetary system's probably gone out the window. So trading and bartering are good ways to go. Buck says a good pair of bolt cutters. You never know. Absolutely. A pair of bolt cutters. I talked about cell phone chargers or just the portable banks. Blankets and sleeping bags I did put on this. Maybe not to go in the actual bag, but maybe in your vehicle. But we're talking also survival bags at a later time. That's definitely where that comes in. Duct tape and rope. Duct tape and rope are great. I would also say some paracord. Paracord is great, especially if you get the survival cord, because inside the paracord, nylon, you pull that out and it's different stuff, but one of those is like a fishing line. So survival cord or paracord are great to have. You can do a lot of things with them, for sure. Let's see here. And now we're talking firearms and stuff. Glock 19 is going to be the way that I go, because I'm also going to have a truck gun that takes, it's a little 9mm PCC that's going to take Glock mags. A lot of things take Glock mags. So I have a bunch of different mags, and they're going to be preloaded Glock mags, whether there's 17 or 19 mags or 30 round mags. I've got a bunch of those. Always going to have different magazines with you and all of that. 550 paracord. Yep, absolutely. Like I said, if you can find survival cord, it's even better than the 550 paracord. The survival cord is going to have like part of the stuff in the middle is going to be fishing line. Just saying. Yeah, Rob says even a roll of kite string be helpful. Absolutely. You can use paracord and rope and all that stuff a lot of different ways. Let's see here. What else off the top of my head? Well, let's just go back and I've got a bunch of these stars. So let's go back real quick. Sykes says, I'm like you. One ingress, one egress on top of a hill where I can see everything. That's the way to go if you can do it. If you can do it, then that's the way to go with it for sure. Let's see here. Jacob S says, I always keep a thick sleeping bag, at least in my car, so I have something extra to cover up with that emergency. So here's the thing. Sleeping bags are wonderful, not only for sleeping, but here's another thing. A lot of them, especially if they're outdoor ones, they have that slippery nylon outdoor cover. It's probably fleece or something inside, or wool or whatever outside. It's that slippery nylon. Well, guess what? That slippery nylon could also do if you need it. Shelter. It could become a shelter. Instead of if you don't have a tarp, you can use your paracord around some trees. Use that sleeping bag to give you shelter if you need to. Obviously, using it at night to keep you warm. Fantastic. Having a sleeping bag in the vehicle is great, for sure. Let's see here. Gunpowder Beauty says, I have 3 kids. There's a big bag in the back of the SUV that has snacks, blankets, spare clothes, first aid kit, and charger in case phone or car battery dies. Drinks are taken when we leave. So She brings up another one, extra clothes. I think that having at least maybe a couple of pairs of socks, maybe a different T-shirt, chances are, um, in a bug out scenario, I'm unless it's cold and I have my feet happen to get wet. The only thing that I probably really want to change, it would be wet socks. If you get wet socks, you can get a bunch of things that go wrong with your feet. More importantly, if it's going to be cold that night, you could get sick with those wet socks and all that. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if you want to change, if you feel like you might want to change clothes or whatever, having a couple T-shirts around is never a bad thing. You use them for different things besides wearing if you need to. But yeah, having a change of clothes is definitely something you might want to think about. Let's see here, basic boot kit or IFAC. So I will carry an IFAC, but I'll also carry a trauma kit as well. So an IFAC is an individual first aid kit. So something like this little individual first aid kit, but also carry a trauma kit, and the trauma kit's going to have maybe some Israeli bandages, some tourniquets, some different things, maybe some powders that will help clog and stop the bleed. More trauma kits are much different, but I think you need to have a first aid kit and a trauma kit personally. That's just me. Yeah. Let's see here. Artex says, I have a car repair toolbox. Always my get home bag is small Alice pack, and my road trip bag is a large Alice pack. Alice will take care of you. Yes, she will. Yes, she will. Let's see here. Let me get rid of those. Let's see here. Rob says, I use a basic backpack. Wouldn't expect the trip to make more than last a day on foot. Yeah. So my bug out bag, my 24, it's just a normal backpack. It's, we got a ton of these little tactical backpacks and all that. Nothing overly huge. You can even go to Walmart and just buy a backpack that they would for $5 that you kids might take to school, a JanSport or whatever. Don't have to spend a lot of money. But something that's going to be able to withstand some pounding. Doesn't want to rip very easy. That's why I like more of the tactical bags. They're a little bit heavier duty, that they're going to be able to handle some banging being dropped. They're not going to rip, and shoulder straps aren't going to break or whatever. So that's definitely one way to think about it for sure. Snob says, gummies in a bug out bag. Never know when you're going to get a good night's sleep when you're bugging out. Gummies are part of my life, so it is what it is. Faux shizzle. Jacob says, all the flashlights at Walmart are now locked behind glass. Did you know that they are in his area? They're not here. I don't know why you would lock up flashlights. That doesn't make much sense, but hey, maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Flashlights at Walmart here, you can just go grab them. Now, maybe some of the more expensive ones are going to be behind glass, but like I said, you can go find $1, $2, $3 flashlights at Walmart all over the place that are LED flashlights. They're not going to last forever, but they're going to last you 24 or 48 hours for sure. Yep. Now, Rob talks about, I keep a life straw in my bag just in case. So we're talking about water sources in survival mode. A water source, and sometimes if you don't have that heat source, you find a creek or you find something nearby. Luckily, we have a creek that runs in our backyard here. Plus, we live on a 50-acre pond, so water's not a problem for my wife and I. We've got a lot of problems, but water ain't one of them. But we don't know if you're in a weird place and you don't know what's in that water, then that pond, that creek, that water source, and you don't know if there's any bacteria or whatever. It's always good to have a heat source, like a fire or something, that you can boil that water, and then it'll take care of all that. What you can also do is have a life straw, and I've got a couple different life straws that Rob's talking about. A life straw you can find over on Amazon through my link, whatever. But a life straw is going to be like a filter. It's like a big, I don't know, about a foot long, about that thick. Ladies, calm down. But it's a straw that has filters and stuff that you can drink, and it'll filter a lot of stuff out for you. Absolutely. Let's see here. Syke says, seasonally, Walmart has the little light in sporting goods. It's like a 3.5 inches long with white light, 50 luminaries. Takes 2 AAA batteries, cost $1. I have, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You can get them for like $1. Usually maybe $2, something like that, $3. But during the holidays and all that, you can get them for like $1. They're on sale. I guess they're not going to last forever, but if you have batteries, they'll last you. Like I said, the bug out bag for me is a 24 hours, 48 tops, but I'm trying to be a 24-hour bug out, get home, whatever you want to call it. And these things will last much longer than that. So, he says they're great cheap lights. Yeah, we've got a ton of them around our house for sure. Anytime I see $1 flashlight, I'll grab 3 or 4 of them at a time, and it's what it is. Probably the best dollar you can spend is that LED flashlight. So let's get back over to the live comments, and I'm sure I've missed some stuff. Let's see here. Mandatory carries out there. Hello, hello, hello. Let's see here. Dan Cruz, what armor do you recommend? I use shellback. Okay, so my plate, this is not it. My plate carrier is in my vehicle right now. I was using it for something. So my plate carrier is an HR. Well, a bunch of my I have shellback. I have HRT. My armor. I've got some metal. I've got some steel plates. I've got some ceramic plates. I want to say my ceramic plates. They're in my carrier, but I thought I had another set. Steel plates, anything that's level 4 probably that you'd want to be able to go up against the 7.62 round. You can find them all over the place. Ceramic plates, I want to say that my steel plates are shellback. I want to say that my ceramic plates are actually LA police gear. I might be wrong about that, but I think they're LA police gear. Got them on a Black Friday sale several years back, but ceramic plates are great to have. They're a lot lighter. But I use level 4. That's supposed to be able to hold up to a 7.62 or a 308 round. At least have level 3 guys, and that's going to be able to protect you from most handgun up to like 44 Magnum, I believe, and even maybe up to 5.56. But a level 4 would be the way to go, in my opinion. But you talking about what brand, Dan? I prefer shellback. HRT's got some great stuff. My ceramic, I believe, are LA police gear, but I might be mistaken off that. But I think they're LA police gear. Let's see here. Socks. Dan says socks. Yeah, gotta have socks, man. Good wool socks are great to have. Gunpowder Beauty says, with the clothes I have them packed in gallon Ziploc bags in case. So that's another thing that was waterproofing, guys. If you can, one thing that I didn't mention in a bug out bag, especially if it's going to be more than 24 hours, but even if it's just 24 hours, if you're on medications, prescription medications, make sure that you've got maybe 3 or 4 or 5 days stashed away that you could have in your go bag in case there's no reason to be out there trying to survive if you need medication to live. So that's a lot of things we talk about over the counter drugs and aspirin and ibuprofen and all that. One of the big things that people tend to forget about is their prescription drugs. If you're on a bunch of different prescriptions, have some of it available for you. Okay. For sure. Waterproofing. Absolutely. Get those big old Ziploc freezer bags and squeeze the air out. Yeah, waterproofing is a must, especially with something that like socks or clothes or whatever. Electronics, something that you can put inside a Ziploc bag. Probably inside maybe electronics, you might want to put in 2 Ziplocs. Make sure you have one and then put in another one. Make sure that you're just not going to get wet because electronics don't like wetness or water. So yeah, waterproofing is very, very, very important. Let's see here. Sykes says if you can swing level 4 lightweight plates, pounds versus pain. Yeah, and I would say if you can afford it, level 4 ceramic would be the way to go. And brands, there's all sorts of brands out there. As long as it's approved for level 4 testing, then you should be okay. And like I said, level 3 is not terrible, but if you can afford it and you want to get them, go get a level 4 plates for sure. Gunpowder Beauty says slippery roads. You never know when you'll end up in a bad situation. Was my thinking behind the clothes? No, 100%. Absolutely. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying that I'm going to have at least socks and a couple t-shirts and maybe a hoodie always with me in the vehicle. I don't know if I'm going to go and change my pants and all that. But I'm definitely going to have a couple pairs of socks in my vehicles for sure. Dan Cruz says, I want heavy, durable set and light set. Mo choice, mo beta. Yeah. Definitely go check out like HRT Tactical is a Marine buddy of mine. Is doing some shellback. Fantastic. You can't go wrong. Shellback's elite. It's going to be more expensive, but you get what you pay for. They have the swimmer's cut. Some people call it the shooter's cut, where the plates are angled a little bit more so you can be able to get your stock of your rifle better, or you can just go get the Evolver stock. Go check that video out on the Evolver. The best rifle stock ever. Evolver. It's put out a couple weeks ago, a video, and that's amazing. But yeah, for sure. Who's talking shit about gummy bears? I like cinnamon bears. Yeah, I like cinnamon bears too. I had some a couple days ago, but yeah, gummy bears. I've lived on gummy bears forever. That's always going to be a staple for me for sure. Let's see here. Tactical Buck says Walmart got rid of the ammo. They had to put something in the empty case. That's true. They got rid of all the handgun ammo for sure. Dan Cruz says 99 problems, but water ain't one. Okay, real quick, $6 super chat from Mandatory Carry. Thank you, my friend. He says, oh, that reminds me. Yeah, I appreciate you very much. Let's see here. Sykes says, check out Alien Police Gear. They have 4.5 pound level 4 spring plates for 100. That's what I have for 129 per plate, multi-hit single curve. That's exactly what I have, except I got on for under 100. Like I said, it was like during a sale. It popped up. You know, it was a flash sale or Black Friday or whatever. It was a few years ago. I don't remember, but it popped up, and it was during like the pandemic when everyone was buying plates for some reason. But they had like a flash sale for, it was like maybe $89 a piece or something like that. It was a fantastic deal. So I got them. But yeah, ceramic ones are great. They're going to be a little bit lighter weight. And all of that. Let's see here. Rob says water is heavy. Plus, if it lost in the woods or something, taking a shortcut, a filter can be handy. Yeah, water is extremely heavy. So, like I said, if you can find a water source that you don't have to carry around bottles of water with you everywhere. Obviously, have a couple with you, but a water source would be wonderful to find. Probably be the first thing. Once you find where you're going to stay, probably, hopefully, high ground. Find a water source nearby. Try to find a place that's high ground near a water source, and then the rest of it you can go from there. You can figure out shelter, you can figure out heat sources, you can figure out food and all that. Find high ground that's relatively near a water source. That's the best place to go. Let's see here. What? No insult? I want money back. Okay, I'll insult you. He's my favorite weirdo. Mandatory Carry is 100% my favorite weirdo. He's my favorite multi-personality dude for sure. My favorite coastie, and that's an oxymoron. I don't like Coast Guard guys, but he's my favorite coastie. So yeah, go check out the wonderful multi-dimensional, multifaceted, multi-personality mind of Mandatory Carry for sure. Let's see here. Sykes says Walmart Sporting Goods. There's a small plastic watertight closer for that fits electrics. Perfect. Yeah. I mean, you can go find stuff. I'm just saying, if you don't have time or don't want to go spend money on something that could cover up your electronics, go get some of those Ziploc freezer bags. They're the big ones, like the gallon ones or whatever, or the big ones. You know what I'm talking about. Put your electronics in one, close it, get all the air out, close it up, put it inside of another one. So you're double protected for sure. But yeah, there are all sorts of stuff. Walmart, Amazon, all sorts of stuff that will cover up, protect, waterproof your electronic stuff. But you want to protect your electronics for sure. Let's see here. Go down here. Mandatory Carries at ZNA Productions built low-end level 1 armor. I mean, anything's better than nothing, right? But I wouldn't go any lower than level 3. That's just me. I would prefer level 4. But I wouldn't go below level 3. Now, if you only have, 20, 30, $40, you can probably go find some soft armor somewhere for cheap, but understand the cheaper stuff is cheap for a reason, right? Just saying. So, New York Outcast says my local Family Dollar store has security tags on a single pair of socks, but not surprised places are locking up flashlights. There you go. Sykes says my water could go down and I'm good once I get home. I have a river running through the back of my property. Yeah, I got a big creek plus a 50-acre pond. We're good. Let's see here. Marcus says I'm late. We're late. What's going on? We're talking bug out bags, stuff to put in that, survival bags, if you will. Hold on. Hey, Yoko. Yoko. Hello? I know you hear me. Can you answer me? Hey. Yes. How many people call Yoko? Hey, what are those things that you were talking about that you can put in like luggage and all that you can track? AirTag or something like that? Okay. Sorry. Didn't mean to yell you guys. So my wife was talking about getting these AirTags. Huh? These AirTag things, and you can put them different places that you can maybe track through GPS and all of that. That might be something to maybe keep in your cars or your bag or something. Maybe put in your go bag. Not that you can use it, but at that point, if you are stranded and you are whatever, someone that could have access to your AirTag information could then be able to maybe track you and find out where you are. So AirTags are some of the new technology stuff, and they're not overly expensive for what they are. Like I said, they're not going to, hopefully never have to use them. And I think they're usually used for like luggage or something like that. But for a bug out situation, you could use it. One of the things I want to talk about, and this is something that, okay, see, I don't have Apple. So my wife does have Apple phone. I have an Android. But Gary says if you don't like Apple stuff, you can go with Tile. It's a similar product maybe that works with Android. Okay, I didn't know that. That's awesome. But yeah. But one of the things I want to talk about for having around is a ham radio, amateur radio. If you guys not a hand radio, a ham, HAM, but it's not made of ham either. It's not green eggs and ham. A ham radio is always good to have. Now, disclaimer. To be able to utilize a ham radio, you need to get licensed and pass a test and register with the FCC or whatever it's called, and to be able to utilize it. You can listen to a ham radio without having a license. You just can't talk on it without your license. You get in some serious trouble. That said, in a Red Dawn situation at that point, or in a survival. Now you can use a ham radio without a license for emergencies. Okay. You can use them for emergencies. And that's kind of what I'm getting at. A ham radio in an emergency you can use without having a license and all that. But let's be honest, if you're in that Red Dawn situation, do you really care if you can then get, they can triangulate your position and the FCC can come find you. Well, at that point, if you're stranded, you're in trouble. You want anyone and everyone to triangulate. Hey, if you give me a fine or whatever, that's cool. Just come find me, triangulate my position and come find me and give me that fine and take me with you. But a ham radio is great to be able to call in for help, distress calls and all that. Ham radio is a great thing to have for sure. Now we're talking about, I heard someone talking about, I remember who it was. It's about Rhino liner for lesser quality steel. Put that on top of it, maybe, and that maybe strengthens it. I hadn't heard that, but I think that sure. Darn, it's not made from him. I know that'd be a great thing. Also, you have a food and a communication device. Comms are going to be very, very important. Comms are always important. Let's see here. Gunpowder Beauty says we have AirTags in each one of the kids' shoes. That's the way it's easy to track them. They are under $10. So once they become teenagers, it might not be so easy. True that. Better check your clothes, Rob. Yep. Gary says, if you need an airtight to keep track of your partner, you may have the wrong partner. That's true too. Let's see here. Mandatory carry says getting the first level of ham license is pretty easy. Papa Carey did it in like 6 weeks. Yeah, it's just you got to get it done, right? Let's see here. In a Red Dawn scenario, I'm peeing in the radiator. I might have missed something. But knowing mandatory carry, I didn't. He's just being mandatory carry. People are always booking cars. Well, you're in New York, so of course they are. Hey, baby, what you doing? You come say hi? The battle pup. Come here, babe. She's looking at me. You want to come say hi? There's a camera right here. No? Okay. What's up, Wes? How you doing? We'll see Wes here in a few weeks and at the Wanamaker Tulsa Arms show. Looking forward to going to that for sure. Firearms or weaponry, obviously knives. I have probably 10 knives in my cars at all times. I'm a knife geek. And a lot of them are very, very cheap. You don't have to go buy the very expensive ones. Now, carry more expensive knives in my person, but the knives I have K-bars. I have little pocket knives. I have survival knives. I have axes. I have machetes. I tell you one. Go with a little machete right there for sure. Yeah, machetes are great to have. What in the world? I got all mixed up here. I don't know what's going on. Let's put it back up there for now. But yeah, machetes, axe throwing knives, anything that you can use. Obviously, you're gonna have your firearms. Everyone knows that's the battle rifle right there. That's the one that's got tourniquet. It's got everything that I need. That rifle's ready to go. That's my battle rifle. But handguns, I'm making sure that, like I said, I'll have Glock 19, Glock 17s. The reason why I'd go with Glock, one, they not because I'm a Glock fanboy and all that. I love Glock, but I'm not a fanboy by any means. They just run. They're very reliable, and when you need them in that situation, you need them to run, right? More importantly, Glock mags. I have a PCC that I carry around with me, and it takes Glock mags, so you can share magazines and ammo. Great. You can steal it back long before the police screw it up. Okay. Wes says he might have to miss Wanamaker. That's all right. We'll miss you for sure. Sykes says, as for guns, I'm in the middle of swapping over from Glock to SIG. Hey, SIG's great. I'm not a SIG guy. I think they're great guns. They just don't fit my hand. They just don't look good to me, and all that. But yeah, G23 says, "Wow, Ghost is solo." Yeah, I do solo stuff. I don't mind doing solo stuff. It gets me to be able to talk with you guys a bit more. But John's birthday's today. Chase is out of town. I know that Kyle and Chris text me, said that they had some stuff going on. Clover's just too famous for the show anymore, so he thinks he is at least, and he just didn't show up. He's probably sleeping. Who knows? But yeah, you guys have any questions for me on maybe what I use, or some suggestions? If you don't have a bug out bag or a get home bag or a go bag, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, I use my bug out bag or get home bag is a 24-hour bag. Now I have a separate, like a 3-day or 4-day bag, right? That's going to have different things. You have a survival bag. Those are different items, and all of that. But, Mandatory carry says, I just missed it. He said that Rob meant the reason people tag their cars, they can steal it back. There you go. That's correct. But yeah, firearms, obviously, in my life, in my world, firearms are always going to be around. But more importantly, I think you just need to have something, whether it's a firearm, which is a knife, a baseball bat, a golf club, whatever, something to defend yourself. And I'm not saying necessarily from humans. I maybe even talking about animals, bears or mountain lions or whatever, something that's going to be able to protect yourself from any threat, whether it's human or whatever, right? So, yeah. Any questions out there for me on bug out bags, go bags, get home bags, whatever, survival bags? We might do a whole nother discussion on the survival skills. That'd be kind of cool. I did a couple of videos a couple of years ago on some survival stuff. Go check those out on how to different ways you can start a fire. What's in a survival bag that we have here. I did some videos, survival series several years ago. Go check them out on the channel. They were pretty fun. Snow says, wow, you're still by yourself. Where's your twin? I don't know. I don't particularly care. I know that I usually don't go solo, but I enjoy going. So I went solo for the Jarhead podcast Sunday night. I enjoy going solo. I enjoy hanging out with my friends as well. It's nice to have other people just to hang out with, but the discussion's been great. Been going an hour strong and hasn't slowed down yet. So Rob says Ghost doesn't need a babysitter. Damn straight, especially a leprechaun. Like, come on, man. Like, come on. So, but yeah, like I said, I'm going to put the link out there again to our Amazon store, and it's a list, survival list. And it's not everything that I would say, but I mean, most of the stuff that's on there you might want to think about, but it's stuff that probably you wouldn't think about, right? Everyone thinks about the traditional stuff, bags and first aid kit and all that, but you might not be thinking about some of this other stuff. Water filtration systems, all sorts of stuff. Go check that list out. And if you buy anything, thank you for shopping our store. We are recording Thursday afternoon, early evening, late afternoon, early evening. We're going to be recording with Dakota Meyer, United States Marine, Congressional Medal of Honor winner, and that will come out. That Jarhead podcast will come out in the next week or so after that, for getting it edited and getting it all with the sponsors hooked up in and all that. That'll come out. It takes about a week to get everything edited because we might talk for 2 hours. I want to try to keep it about an hour and a half podcast. So you clip out some stuff that may not be interesting. It might just be us bullshitting, he doesn't need a babysitter. He needs someone to hold his leash. Now that's probably fair. That's fair. But yeah, so we're recording the next episode of Jarhead podcast presented by our good friends over at Hyperion Munitions, Thursday, with Dakota Meyer. So be on the lookout for that episode of the Jarhead podcast. We've got some really awesome guests coming up in the next probably 8 weeks. We've got 4 or 5 amazing guests coming. It's going to all kick off with Dakota Meyer. So go check that out. We've got a video coming out this week on an update to our PRS sniper competition rifle. We're going to talk optics here, and we're using a new loophole scope. So we'll be looking at the loophole this weekend. So that video will drop in the next few days. Be on the lookout for that. I'll say this. We talk about this all the time. Any video that you watch of ours, right? And not just mine, but any of us, any of they're doing review videos and whatever products, whether guns or knives or whatever. I would say this, to help out is if you see, let's just say you go and see the Kiger 9C Pro that you saw a review on our channel, or the new Witness 2311 or whatever, and you say, oh man, that's a good review. That gun looks great. I'm going to go buy that gun. And you go buy that gun. And part of the reason why you bought that gun was because you watched someone on YouTube giving their ideas and their review on said product. The best way to help that creator out is say, thank you for helping out with that video. One, you can share it, obviously, subscribe to their channel, but the best way to do it also is to go find that company. Let's just say it's Anderson, and you bought a Kiger because you watched one of my videos. Just using as an example, guys. It could be anyone you could watch. Go to social media, okay? and find Anderson on Instagram or Facebook and just leave a comment on whatever post is their latest post and say, hey, just bought the Kiger 9C Pro after watching a Ghost Tactical video. And that helps your favorite creators out with those companies. Let them know that they are watching our stuff, and we helped you make a decision on purchasing this item. So that's not just for me. Don't care if you do it for me, but any creator, any YouTuber that you're watching out there, and they help you decide to get a product, go to that company and say, hey, bought this product with the help of Ghost Tactical or Gun Snob or whoever by watching his video on YouTube. So that helps out a lot, right? So let's see here. Let's check out. Let's go look at some more comments before we get out of here. G23 says, Ghost, I gave your name to a channel called Conversations with the Vet. Yeah, that's interesting. Never heard of that. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, let him get a hold of me. We'll see what he's all about for sure. Let's see here. Sykes says, I looked at a Gerson today because of your video. Oh, well, thanks. I'm a real big fan of Gerson. Obviously, they're great friends of the channel, good personal friends of mine. Keith, the owner, and Paul, and Chase, and Sam, and all these guys, they're personal friends of mine. But they're also with EAA, who import Gerson, and they're great people. And I love their Gerson products. So absolutely, I'm a big fan of Gerson. There's a lot of stuff from Gerson coming down the line the next few months that's going to blow your mind. I can't say anything about them right now, but they're going to blow your mind. Gerson is getting ready to have, they've already had a fantastic 2023. 2024 could be even better. I think they probably are going to have the handgun of the year with the MC14T this year. 2024 is going to be incredible also. But yeah, let's see here. Let's see here. Better have a leash than a muzzle carry. Okay, it's a she at Ghost Tactical. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I never heard of them. Yeah, or her. Absolutely, tell her to get a hold of me and all that. Snob says, be honest, Chase is more of a habit than a friend. Okay, well, I don't want to be mean. At this point, you can't really get away from Chase as much as we would like to. He's kind of a fixture now, and yes, he is more of a habit, and a bad habit at that. He's a bad habit that you just can't break, right? They look like they make great clones. Yeah, they've got 92 clones called the Regard. They've got the high power clones. They've got the Witness 2311. They've got some great shotgun clones of Benelli and all of that stuff. Great company. And they take great firearm designs and make them better. And that's just what they're known for. They're great. Snobs is bad habit for sure. So guys, we go over a little an hour. I want to say thank you to everybody that's been watching. Mandatory Carry says Fix was giving them crap. Worse, she's right. Well, most of them are. Let's just be honest. That just happens. That's the real world scenario, man. Most of the wives are usually right when they're giving us shit. But no, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, we can stick around if you guys want to talk a bit more or ask any questions. It doesn't be about bug outs or survival. We'll probably do a whole survival show. I think it'd be fun, especially with the wintertime coming up and all that. You've got hurricane seasons and tornado seasons and all that getting ready to happen. So that could be right there. 1911 Syndicate did a video on one Gerson's 1911, and they are used to doing reviews on $3,000 type 1911s. They had in the end admit that Gerson was just as good. Yeah, man. And their Gerson stuff is good. Like we got our 2311 videos, double stack 9mm, the 2011. They call it Witness 2311. That video dropped a couple weeks ago. You go check that out. You're talking about a double stack 1911 9mm for under $1,000. Come get you some, and it's going to run with all of them. It's the staccato killer, man. I'm telling you. But yeah, go check out that video. The 2311 is awesome. The high powers are freaking awesome. Love them. But they've got 1911s. I've got like the little pocket carry size 9mm 1911. It's great. They're all good. They do a great job making firearms for sure. But there's a lot of 2011s out there that are good. I think, what's that company that Snob works with a lot? Crap. They just came out with, was it the Apollo 11, which is their version of the 2011. Oh crap, what's that company's name? It's on it's gonna drive me crazy. Live Free Armory. Live Free Armory. They've got a 2011. I've never shot it, but I know that Snob says he likes it, and I trust Snob. Snob says it's pretty good. Snob's not going to just say that, just say it. So, Sykes says, speaking of high powers, I found an original today for $450. Really? Obviously, it's well used, I'm sure, but still $450 for a high power. Does it function? Like, does it work at all right now? For $450, I'd be skeptical. If it's a functioning firearm, if for $450 an original high power, an FN at that point, hells yeah. He said, yeah, great condition. Holy cow, that's amazing. Man, you found a good deal right there. You can sell that for double that money. You can double your money right now, probably. That's crazy. Wow. That's awesome. I love me a high power design. High power was the first double stack, not 1011, but first double stack 9mm. The last design of John Moses Browning. Let's see here. Rob. All right, this will be fun. I like this question. What's your thoughts on most people planning to bug out? I personally think it should be a last resort or to escort loved ones. So we touched on this a little bit earlier in the beginning of the show. For me, it's going to be more of a get home bag. I'm trying to get home because where I live is a perfect place to, if something should happen and go down, where I personally specifically live is perfect. I live on top of a mountain. I've got a creek in my backyard that flows down to a 50-acre pond. We're up high. One road only goes past my house. I can see what's going on. I see about 4 cars a day. So if traffic starts picking up, I'm going to be on the lookout. All sorts of good stuff. So I'm trying to get home. Now, bugging out, and we touched on this earlier, like I said, for me, the bug out is probably going to be more important for people that live in like an urban area, a city, suburbia, and all that, a city place to get out of the city, right? If you live where I live, I grew up in Dallas, so I grew up in the city, and if something would ever happen, I'm getting the hell out of Dallas. I'm going out away from Dallas, getting out into the country or the sticks or the rural areas where you're not having cars everywhere. You want to get to a place that's going to be quiet. You're going to have maybe some food sources, some water sources. You're going to need to be able to see for a while to see what's coming. You don't want to have someone just surprise you. You want to be able to hear and see people when they're coming, and all of that. So, I would say that for people that are in an urban area, the bug out is more important to get out. For people like me now that live in the sticks in a rural area, I'm just trying to get home because everything I need is at home. So yeah, bugging out. I think it's a last resort, but we're talking about something crazy happening, right? And it sounds bad. I never thought that those crazy things could ever happen, but the more and more weird shit happens in this world, you never know, right? You never know. So no, you're fine, Rob. He says I was late. Sorry. No. It's all good. But for me, I'm trying to get home. For other people that maybe live in that urban area, they're trying to get to the rural area, so they're trying to bug out. I'm trying to bug home. Everything I need is right here where I want to be. And if you're lucky to live in a place like I do, it's a perfect situation. So it is what it is. Sykes says, same place. I spent $1,000 on a P320 Legion. So I'm not a huge fan of the P320. I'll tell you what I would love to get, though, is a 226 X Legion. I think that is a beautiful, the 226 Legion is a phenomenal looking gun. If I was ever going to buy a SIG, it would be the 226 Legion. Great one. G23 says, I live in a town of less than 300 people and on a dead end. There you go. Sykes says, I'm digging in my heels. If I have to actually bug out, I have a national forest near me. I could vanish in So, yeah, and where I live, we're in the mountains. I wouldn't call them mountains, like the Rocky Mountains, but they're the Ozark Mountains. Um, Surrounded, it was the lake, so there's rivers, there's streams, there's creeks, there's ponds. Water is not hard to find around where I live. If I for some reason have to leave my house, there are certain areas in this town that I know that I'm going to that I'm going to be fine with, right? And that's the way it is. Um, yeah, national forest would be great. Once again, guys, you have to understand that if the Red Dawn scenario does happen for some reason, um, laws are going to cease to exist, right? So that's where the survival comes into it. You're going to have to be able to survive, because here's the thing: what happens, and it's human nature, right? It's human nature. What happens in those desperate times? The people that don't have are going to go try to find the people that do have. So if you do have, you better be able and willing to protect you, your family, your property, your supplies, because people are going to come after them. And that's just the way it is. It's survival of the fittest. And when it comes down to surviving, you better be willing and able to do whatever you need to do to do that. So now New York Outcast says, if and when things go bad, out of sight, out of mind is my plan. Definitely don't stand out. Yeah. Yeah. Sykes says, yep, the Geneva Convention will be null and void. Yep. There will be nothing. There will be no laws. It will be literally, survival of the fittest, for sure. Don't stand out. I mean, if Red Dawn happens, we're going to be fine. Come to my property. Unless I know you, and even if I know you, like, unless you're my daughter, like my family, or maybe like a good friend of ours, like, look, don't come to my house, because no offense, at that point, when it's a survival, I care a shit about only one thing, and that's my family. And no offense, if you're not prepared and you don't have anything to defend yourself with and all of that, like, I love you, but like, that's your own damn fault, right? I'm gonna, at that point, if it's Red Dawn scenario, I care about one thing and one thing only. That's the survival of me and my family. And anyone that's not family, I'm sorry, it's not my problem. And that sounds selfish, but surviving is surviving, bro. That's just the way it goes. Hopefully you're smart enough to plan ahead and have some stuff around that you can eat. Like, we always have canned food. We don't eat a lot of canned food. We have canned food. Well, guess what? Canned food doesn't go bad. I've got MREs in there. I only got, and I don't have a lot of them, but I've got enough to get through a couple days. Water is not a problem. Like I said, I've got a 50-acre pond in my backyard. Water ain't a problem. Guns and ammo. I don't need batteries for guns and ammo. Got plenty of guns, got plenty of ammo, and all sorts of different flavors. So I'm good to go. Sykes says that is right there. Survival is key. And it sounds bad, man. It sounds bad. But if you're in that Red Dawn scenario, and if you are thinking about other people besides your family, I don't blame you. I'll be thinking about them. And like I said, I'm not going to tell them to go away. But they're not my priority. If friends come by and say, man, I need help, if we got room, if we've got extra supplies, like, especially if you're injured or something like that, then yeah, we're not going to turn you away, but you're not my priority. My priority is my family. And that might sound selfish. That might sound whatever it is. I don't give a shit about anyone surviving except for me and my family. That's just the way it goes, right? New York Outcast, we all know people that know we have more stuff and skills, so don't be surprised. No. And people will try to come over here. I promise you, if something like that happens. And I'm not saying I'm going to turn them away, but I'm not going to be like the beacon of hope. Like everyone, I'm not Noah's Ark, everyone come in here 2 by 2. No. We're hunkering down, and my family and I are going to be safe. And that's all I can guarantee. That's all I can guarantee. That might sound brutal. It might sound harsh. It might sound insensitive. If you're faced to a red dawn, that shit hits the fan, the zombie apocalypse, whatever the hell you want to call it, if you're in that situation and you're thinking about other people, then you're probably not going to survive. I'm just going to be honest with you. You have to be selfish. You have to be about you and your family's survival. If you're thinking about anything else, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. And that sounds cruel. It sounds harsh. That's reality. That's reality. And if you're not ready to have that mindset, then good luck. Good luck. You're probably going to be a liability to someone else because you're going to be expecting someone else to protect you and to take care of you. And that ain't going to be me. That sounds brutal, but it ain't going to be me. Everyone you let in also will have loved ones. Exactly. It's a liability for sure. Snob says, if you show up here, you better have skills or items to barter. Otherwise, I'm not helping you. That's a great point. If you're bringing your own supplies and you just need a place that is better for you to bunker down with, but you're bringing your own supplies, you have things that we could utilize. Hey, now we can talk, right? But if you try to steal my shit, we're gonna have issues. You're gonna meet the Marine side of me, and that ain't gonna be pretty. Bring stuff, we can help, we can barter, we can trade. But yeah, if you just need a place, it's like shelter, and you have your own stuff, bring it on. Hey, we're good. We can do that. So yeah. Yeah. So it's been a fun conversation. We will have a more of a survival conversation about survival skills, because there's a lot of survival skills that are basic and easy that everyone needs to learn. That doesn't take a long time to learn, and they're not hard to learn. It's just most people don't take the time to learn them. Starting a fire. And people say, "Oh, it looks hard." And you had a magnifying glass and leaves, and I'm like, man, there's so many different ways to start a fire. It's really easy, like really easy. Vaseline and cotton balls. Seriously, come on. Starting fire. It's whether you smoke or not, everyone should have 5 or 6 lighters around their house, if for no other reason to start a fire, right? And if you need to start a fire, like I said, we got videos out there on how to start a fire. We have videos on a survival bag, different items in those things. Go check those out. But we'll have a survival talk for sure. Those are fun. I enjoy that stuff. Dryer lint and candle wax. Yep, absolutely. Mandatory carry went a little dark. He says, try to steal from us. You might end up as lunch. I am not a cannibal, bro. So no matter what happens, I probably will not eat them. That's just me. I'm not a cannibal. But hey, you're weirdo. We know that. You got to do what you do best. And if that's one of those things, then by God, you own that. Let's see here. Don't let them in if you're not willing to take them out. That's a great point to make there, New York Outcast. He said, if you're not willing to take them out when the time comes, if you have to, then don't take them in. Exactly. People tacos. That's just man, stop. Let's get away from that. My God. Pigs need food too. Yeah. But he said he didn't say he was going to eat them for lunch. He said he might. It could be lunch for the pigs. That's true. I don't have a pig. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't acquire one if I need to, but I don't have a pig. So there you go. Snob says, wow, this chat went dark and Chase is even here. That's true. Usually when it goes really south and dark, it's because of Chase, and Chase is out of town. So yeah, thanks, Mandatory Carry. Appreciate you, buddy. No, seriously, thank you everybody for watching tonight. Thanks everyone that did the super chats. Thanks to all my channel members and patrons over there. Thank you guys for supporting all of our projects. Like I said, we've got a loophole scope video coming out in the next few days. We're going to be recording with Dakota Meyer, Congressional Medal of Honor winner, on Thursday afternoon. That podcast will come out publicly probably a week after that or so. We got all sorts of stuff. We got also go check out gear-report.com. We put reviews out there on several different items in the last couple of weeks. So go check out not just mine, but all the articles over there on Gear Report. What are friends for? Exactly. Right. Snob, easy. Uh, that's an inside joke. Some people will get it, some people will not. Lots of topics can get dark to start none, and there won't be none. There you go. But yeah, I want to bring something up. This is not because I'm sponsored or anything, but if you're looking for a great Christmas gift, Tonto Vodka. This is our good friend Chris Tonto Peranto. He sent this to me about a year or so ago, and I'm not going to open it. He's going to send me another one to actually drink if I ever do drink vodka. But this is just more to have. But it's very good vodka. But it's a buddy of mine, Chris Tonto from Benghazi, one of the Benghazi heroes, Army Ranger, and you guys probably heard of Tonto, but he's a very good friend of mine, and he is selling his own vodka. I'll probably put the link in the description below to his vodka, but go check that out if you like vodka, or if you're looking for someone that does like vodka, you're looking for a Christmas gift, go check that out. Snob says you act like Jeff has. Okay, that's true. So to be fair, I have submitted 3 or 4 reviews to Gear Report. He's only published one of them, and it's for the Witness 2311. He says he's going to schedule one a week for the next several weeks. So later on this week, I think is going to be the Valiant Dynamics the Evolver Combat stock, which is my favorite stock, rifle stock ever. Like, it's the best rifle stock that's ever been made, hands down. I don't want to hear it. I promise you, go watch our video on it and then tell me that it's not the best rifle stock you've ever seen. So, but there is a written review coming out this week on that. I think the week after that's going to be the Kiger 9C, all sorts of stuff. But yeah, Jeff has not published but just one of them at this point. So you're right. Now, and Snow, to be fair, you know Jeff as well. He says he's going to schedule one a week for the next 3 or 4 weeks. That may not happen either. So who knows? New York Outcast says most people can't depend on a family and friends now. Small mistakes will get people killed during shit hits the fan. This is true. It sounds bad. There are, I can probably count on 2 hands the people in my life that are in my inner circle that are more than happy to come to my house for whatever in that scenario anytime they want. They're still not going to be as high priority as my family. Anyone else outside that inner circle, you better have a medical emergency or something's dramatically gone wrong, and you better be able to hold your own weight and bring something to the table for me to let you in if that situation happens. People show up at my house wanting to get in. Nope, don't care. It's all about my survival and my family survival. And if there's only 3 or 4 people, 5 people left in this world alive when it's all said and done, it's my family, I'm okay with that. So it is what it is. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. If you're, like I said, if you're watching this in a replay or listening to this in podcast, utilize the comment section, leave us a comment, good or bad. We don't mind hearing bad stuff. We tell we're idiots and we're terrible and this podcast sucks. Hey, it's what it is. Let us know. If you are listening in podcast form and you do like the podcast, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, whatever platform you're on, and give us a rating. That really does help get the exposure out of the podcast and all of that. So for sure. Thanks guys for watching. Make sure that you get out to the range, be more proficient with your firearms. Make sure that you're keeping in tune with your state and local and federal two-way legislations. Make sure that your elected representatives are doing their jobs representing you. If they're not, guess what? 2024 is an election year. We can go ahead and get rid of them and find some new people. More importantly, enjoy your freedoms of being American. One of those things is to keep and bear arms. We'll see you next week. Semper Fi.